What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. I saw this clip on Instagram, and I'm not even going to play it. I'm not even going to talk too much about the scene because it was whack to me. And the reason why I even want to talk about this is because I saw this footage of Melody where she was talking about maybe a specific or maybe a few specific bloggers, possibly. I don't know exactly who she was talking about, but this is really what got me to wanting to even talk about this. People are weird. If you don't know that by now, like, we currently have a man that has been convicted of 34 felony counts, whether you agree with it or not, but who was running to be the president of the United States, whereas some regular person that had 34 felony counts would have a hard time getting a regular job. Okay, so we are living in some very strange, weird times right now, so nothing really surprises me anymore, but it doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. And I want to talk about this because when I saw this scene of Stormi with Hotel and this new person that is on the show talking about how she wanted to have both of them be models at this event that she was going to have, and I guess it's going to be or it was, because this is all, of course, past, it's already been done, but some event that she was going to be having to promote a product in her product line, to me was very, very strange, considering the fact that Stormi came on to this show. The first time she came on, she was supposedly Melody's friend. And even before she was actually on the show, Melody had her permission. I don't want to say used, because Melody said she was her friend. So I don't know these people like that. But Melody said that she was using her friend Stormi's estate to film her video at for the first song that she did. So I thought they were friends. Now, I can understand somewhat if a couple is friends with another couple and then that other couple goes through a situation and then a divorce happens. There may be some awkwardness as to who do you continue to speak to? Do I have to cut, communications with one person over the other? I don't know. I've never been in a position like that, but I can imagine that it could be difficult and weird, but I don't believe that that was the case with these people. I don't think the couples were friends. I believe that Stormi was her friend, or I thought she was friendly, associate, whatever, and didn't even know Hotel. So to see Stormi sitting up having a conversation with Hotel about using him at her event as a model, bare-chested and whatever, yuck. But anyway, I just was looking at it weird because Stormi, in that first season that she came onto the show, she was going hard for Melody in the beginning. I know it didn't happen throughout the rest of the season, but that's why to a lot of people she looks fake, because whether she meant it in the beginning or not, either way, it just makes her look fake. So I understand why there are some people who really don't care for Stormi. And I talked about that before in one reality TV chat that I did some time ago, where I just said, these are some things about Stormi that I believe makes people see her as unlikable. And I'm sure she doesn't really care because she claims she's making millions of dollars a day. I'm exaggerating, of course. But yeah, I mean, she's claiming she's making a whole lot of money and she's rich, so she don't care about people's feelings. Well, that's a character flaw. For anyone to feel that just because you're making money, you don't care about how people feel and you don't care how people feel about you, that's a real bad flaw to have in your character, because you can be up today and down tomorrow. Life literally happens like that. And that's not to wish anything on anyone, but yeah, stuff can happen. But to just know how this man was with this woman, for the most part, I don't know how, like, is the pickings that slim down in Huntsville where she couldn't find anybody else to speak to and reach out to be at her event? Or was it just something in the contract that says that you have to have communications with hotel? Just because Melody isn't doesn't mean that you can't either. I don't know. It makes me wonder sometimes because I just don't get it. I don't buy it, but I don't get it. So to see that now, and then I saw a little bit of Melody not calling any names, not referencing anyone in particular, but she was talking about someone who keeps referencing her, mentioning her. She hasn't responded to them, and it's getting to the point where it's seeming like it's some harassment and bullying, and she may have to weigh her options and see what would be the best route of addressing this. I don't know. Again, I don't know who or what she is referencing, but I'm assuming it's probably someone who considers themselves a content creator because, again, when it comes to content creation, some people just are not very creative. And then there are some people who tend to be somewhat in what they call like a beef sector, or they're people who they don't like people so much where all they will do is create content about them and surrounding them. And I think that's fairly sad. And this is what I'll say, because I know on my platform, I don't talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville all the time, and this definitely is not the only thing that I talk about. I'm a bit passionate about it because of the male, not man, but the male that they have given screen time and airtime to showcase his devious, dangerous ways in dealing with his now ex-wife, mother of his children, and in my personal opinion, his children. And we've seen this in real time when it comes to his arrest, when it comes to the court documents and the family court and all of that other stuff. It's extremely disturbing. So I've talked about it from that perspective, but it's not me hating on him and I'm just creating content about him all the time. I don't talk about him all the time. And even in other commentary when I discuss things like, for example, Meghan Markle, I do talk about some royal drama. I don't care for Meghan Markle, some of her ways. I don't know her to hate her. But when I do discuss things regarding her, it's me talking about news stories that are out there. I'm sharing the news stories and I'm sharing my perspective on that. I'm not following this woman on social media to see what she's doing all the time or just stalking her and seeing everything that she's doing and just talking about her in a negative way all the time. And I don't even talk about her in a negative way. I'm sharing news stories and then I'm sharing my thoughts about those things. So that, again, when like a few times, not often, but there have been a few times where someone would say something in my comment section like, if you just hate Meghan Markle, then why don't you just say that? And I'm like, if I did, I would say that. And two, I'm sharing news stories that have been put out and I'm sharing the news stories. And if you don't like that, then maybe you're just someone that is a sycophant that because the news stories aren't leaning positively towards her, then it just looks like hate. There's a clear difference when it comes to reporting on things about someone versus just reporting on someone and always talking about something about them that may be seen as disparaging, negative, and things like that. So when Melody was saying, if you continue to wish harm on me, for my career to fail, for this and that and the other, like that is another level of craziness. I've never done anything like that when it comes to, well, I wouldn't say that I've done that to Martell, but I've actually just referenced what is the truth. I didn't wish harm on him, but I'm saying the reason why nothing is working out for him is because of his ways. So there's a clear difference. But no, I've never sat out here to wish Meghan Markle not be successful or anything like that. But when the deals fell through with Spotify and the other things that have not worked out for her and Harry, I talked about the news stories that are shared. I'm not sitting there wishing those things happen. That's a big difference. So clearly there's either someone or some people that are doing that with Melody. And I feel like that is just really on another level of weird and strange. But we live in some weird, strange times. Melody, I believe she referenced before when she was talking about the revenge PORN situation when she first addressed it. She mentioned how, there's some people that just don't like me for whatever reasons they choose not to like me, and that's fine. That's with everybody. There are going to be some people that just don't see it for people. But there's another level when it comes to the hate, when you're wishing harm on people. And again, I don't know who she was referencing, but I have heard a vlogger that has a whole lot of subscribers that has said things about Melody. And I've addressed it before. I'm not going to name that person. There's no reason to. But I've talked about it before, where this person was talking about how, nobody wants to work with her anymore, and how she is the one that is the problem, and just a lot of things that were disparaging that were said, and disgusting in my personal opinion, because I talked about how this vlogger made reference of a real criminal case where a woman was poisoning her husband. He found out she was doing this, and she was jailed, prosecuted, and convicted, and I don't remember what her sentence was, but the vlogger was saying that woman who was doing what she was doing to her husband reminded her of Melody. And I was like, what in the hell is she talking about? First of all, Melody and Hotel are not even married anymore. And two, he was the one, if we want to say poisoning anyone, technically he was poisoning her because he was putting her life in danger by being reckless with his ding-a-ling, sleeping around with different people unprotected, and then bringing that same ding-a-ling back to his wife, and possibly, we don't know, but it's possible it could have happened, it's none of our business, infecting her or giving her the opportunity to be infected by STDs, because that is not safe. I've said this all the time. Anyone that would be dishonest and sleep around with other people, let's just stop using the word sleep around, having sex with other people, and they're married to someone that they're supposed to be in a committed relationship with, they're dangerous because you are subjecting them possibly to getting STDs if you're having sex with other people and you're also having sex with your spouse. It's not right. And God forbid, they're doing something like that and they catch an incurable disease. Don't you know that's criminal? So that's just, I'm sorry. Anyone that is having sex with other people when they're not married, they're not using these so-called protection methods because you're already dishonest anyway. You mean to tell me somebody who's being dishonest and sleeping around, having sex with other people, they're like, well, I know I'm being dishonest with my wife, but I use condoms every single time. Get out of here. You're not. Because all you're doing is thinking about yourself. So you don't want to have the protection because you want to feel everything. Because everything for you is about the feeling that you can get by doing what you're doing to get what you want to get for those few moments. It's just disgusting. But to hear that people are so devious out here where they're actually wishing harm on this woman and her career and wanting her to fail is terrible. Don't like her. Don't follow her. Don't see what she's doing on social media. I like her. I actually do follow her on Instagram, but I don't see a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people that I follow on Instagram do because I don't really get on there like that to scroll to see what other people are doing. I'm usually creating or talking about commentary, giving my commentary on other content, and then I'm, listening to other people's content on YouTube when I have the time while I'm multitasking, as I always do. So even myself being someone who does follow her, I don't see her lives. I don't see a lot of the stuff that she does because I'm just not on there like that. So it's, again, if somebody doesn't like her, don't follow her. But to create content where you're talking about her in a negative way and want harm and failure for her is really weird. And people really need to seek help if it comes to that, because I don't even see that as being something that would be even profitable. I heard, and I had talked about it recently because I'm not on Facebook like that either. So I didn't know that there were actually hate groups on Facebook where they hate Melody. It's weird. And then when I talked about that a little bit, because I was surprised by that, and people were commenting and they're like, yeah, there are hate groups for Facebook where they hate Melody and they talk horrible about her and her children in those groups. And I'm like, why hasn't somebody reported that? I mean, I know Mark Zuckerberg doesn't really care too much about Black people, but I feel like if enough people reported that, they could get those groups shut down, because in essence, it's bullying. I don't think those groups were meant for stuff like that, but I don't know, because I'm not a part of any of that. So again, it's just what I think should not be happening and maybe somebody should be addressing. But that's really weird. And so I have even more respect for her now, knowing that there's stuff like that, and she's still persevering and still doing what she needs to and wants to do for her life and for her business and her career. So I can understand why she has made her circle very small, and she has downsized, and she has reorganized, and she has moved differently over time because she's seen people's ways. And I'm gonna tell you something, I get her more than people even know, because I told somebody this a long time ago, because I've been burned so many times by different people in my life as a businesswoman. People are treacherous out here. And I told somebody this. I said, my circle is so small. Picture a pen putting a dot on a piece of paper. That's the size of my circle, okay? It ain't even a circle, because people are treacherous. And if this woman couldn't trust the man that she exchanged marriage vows with to love her, honor, protect her, have 4 children with him, all of those things, and then he's out here trying to make her look a certain way because he's mad that he isn't winning and things aren't thriving and prospering for him, then who can she really trust? And thankfully, there are a few people that she can trust, but I'm just basically saying, you have to understand really where she's coming from. So to know that people are out here really wishing harm for her, what has she really done that terrible for people to like really hate her that much, to really want to see her fail? If you don't care for her, don't follow her. If you don't like, the businesses that she has, don't support it. Don't watch the show. Don't, buy her shirts. Don't buy her products. But to be out here wanting her to fail and putting that out in the atmosphere and speaking it and sharing it with other people is just really weird. And you have to be careful about what you sow, because you will reap that. And I say this all the time. You sow seeds, but you reap a harvest. You don't sow seeds and reap seeds. So anything that you sow, you're going to reap greater than what you sowed. So you just really have to be careful about that. And it's just crazy to me that people just don't even either know or remember the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Would you want somebody doing that to you? If not, then don't do it. I address stuff based on what people put out here, but I'm not wishing harm on them. I'm just speaking like this is what they have done, and this is what's going to turn around and happen if they're not careful. And so when I talk about Hotel, I speak about the actions that he has already done, and he's going to reap what he's sown. I don't have to wish harm on him. Nobody actually has to do that. So him pointing the blame at Melody and anybody else, like when he sent that text, stop bullying me, you and your fans, I don't have a problem, whatever the words were, pretty much saying, this might ruin me, but you and your fans are already trying to do that anyway. Nobody is trying to ruin him. His actions ruin him. He doesn't even know what sowing and reaping means. He probably thinks the word sow, in that definition, you spell it S-E-W. Okay? Sowing. Like, nigga, it's S-O-W. Okay? That's just how stupid he is. He doesn't even know that the things that he does and the actions that he has taken is causing his own downfall. I don't care how Carlos and whoever else tries to save him and tries to give him grace. The Bible says it. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Okay? So, nigga, don't sit here talking about, things like, I hate when people who really shouldn't even be uttering scriptures use them for their own intents and purposes. So, that time when I don't even remember because I don't follow him, but I saw a clip of a live that he did that somebody shared, and I guess somebody in his comment section said it, and he read it, because of course he doesn't know the Bible, but somebody said in his comments, and he read it, yeah, that's right, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. Nigga, you are the weapon. You are forming the weapons against yourself, and they will prosper against you, because you sowed those seeds. You're going to reap that harvest. But I don't know, again, who Melody was referencing. I don't know who or what she was talking about. But to see that scene of Stormi sitting up with Hotel to ask him to be a part of an event that she was having for her business to promote a product, and the fact that she couldn't find anybody else to utilize except him, and then she and that new person on the show, which to me, she just kind of seems strange and weird too. She's sitting there, she's not really speaking, and it was just weird. And, well, how do you two know each other? And blah, blah, blah. And it's like, to be comfortable doing that, I don't care what kind of check you were getting from OWN. And from what I hear, it ain't that great, especially for someone who claims that they're making millions of dollars a month. That little check you could wipe your butt with, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. Whew, it's really weird out here. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.